Hello. Hello, good morning to all. So in the last class we have seen how the basic meter can be used as a DC voltmeter, and so that DC voltmeter range can be how we can extend, and two types of multi-range voltmeters we have seen in the last class. So by using multiplier we can convert the basic meter into DC voltmeter, and similarly parallel resistors will connect to basic meter, and with that we can get the multi-range voltmeters. Similarly, if you connect a series type of resistors in series, series resistors are connected in series with the basic meter, so with that also you can get the multi-range DC voltmeter. So today we will see AC voltmeters. AC voltmeters. To get the AC voltage, how we can connect the basic meter, uh, how we can connect the basic meter to get the AC voltmeter, that we will see. So generally, to get the to measure the AC voltage, first of all we have to convert that into the DC voltage. The general circuit diagram which is used to convert AC voltage into DC voltage is a rectifier. So rectifier circuit is used to convert the DC, and after conversion of DC we can connect it to the basic meter. So the basic requirement, the basic requirement for the measurement of AC voltage is rectifier. So first of all, the AC voltage is converted into DC using rectifier circuit. So here the PMMC, permanent magnet moving coil movement. So it is nothing but directional galvanometer or directional movement, or it is a basic meter. So PMMC movement or meter used in DC voltmeters can be effectively used in AC meters. The rectifier is used to convert AC voltage to be measured and to DC. So first of all, the rectifier is used to convert AC to DC. Okay, this DC, if required, is amplified and then given to PMMC movement. So, so generally for AC waveforms we have a RMS voltage. Mathematically, the RMS value of the continuous AC voltage having a time period T is given as Vrms is equals to 1 by T integral over 0 to T V in square of dt. It is under root. So 1 by T times indicates the mean value or the average value. Uh, the pure sinusoidal quantity we have Vrms is equals to 0.707 V in, and here it is Vm. So it is the peak value of the sinusoidal quantity. See here. So if the AC quantity is continuous, then average value can be expressed mathematically using an integration. That is V average is equals to 2 by T integral 0 to T by 2 V in dt. So the interval T by 2 indicates the average over half cycle. So for purely sinusoidal quantity we have 0.636 Vm. So where Vm is the peak value of the sinusoidal quantity. And from that we can calculate the form factor. Form factor is the ratio of RMS value to the average value of an alternating quantity. So RMS value to average value. So the basic rectifier type of the voltmeter here it shows the basic rectifier. Here we have so this is the meter, basic meter. So having a resistance, internal resistance of Rm and a maximum full scale deflection current of Im. Okay, and by using this basic meter and the rectifier circuit elements, we can convert this meter into an AC voltmeter. So the basic rectifier type of voltmeter is showing here. So here we have diode D1, D2, and this is a shunt resistance. Okay, so in this case D1, D2 are used for the rectifier circuit. The diode shows the nonlinear behavior for the low currents. Hence, to increase the current through the diode D1, the meter is shunted with a resistance RSH. The diode shows the nonlinear behavior for the low currents. Hence, to increase the current through the diode D1, so the meter is shunted with a RSH. So this meter is connected to the shunt resistance. It is connected in parallel. That's why you can call it as a shunt. So shunt resistance. This ensures high current through diode and its linear behavior. Okay. When the AC input is applied, for the positive half cycle, for positive half cycle, this is positive and this is negative. So in such situation, this diode is reverse bias. So this diode does not connect for positive and negative. So this diode will be conducts, and the current will be flow through this resistance, and the deflection current will be flows in this direction. So here for the positive half cycle, the diode D1 connects and causes the meter deflection proportional to average value. Okay. In the negative half cycle, what happens? Negative half cycle of the input AC signal. So this is the negative and this is the positive. This is negative and this is the positive. So negative, positive. So this diode will be conducts, and further this diode will be conducts. So uh, this meter will be bypassed in this case. So in the negative direction, this diode will be conducts and the current will be flows in this direction only. In this direction. Okay. So there is no current to the shunt and there is no current to the deflection. So in the reverse direction now, in the negative half cycle, the diode does not shows any value. So only positive half cycle only this diode D1 will conducts and the corresponding average value will be flows through the RM and it will shows the average value. The current will be flows through basic meter, and due to that the meter will be deflects, and that value indicates the DC value of the RMS AC signal, or we can say it is the average value. Okay, so in the reverse half cycle, in the reverse of the reverse or negative half of the AC signal, so this diode will be connected, and due to that the entire current will be flows through this and reaches in this manner. In this circuit only it will be current will be passes. So the current does not flow in this direction. In such situation, the meter does not read any value. Okay, and coming to AC voltmeters using full wave rectifier. So in this case, the AC voltmeter using full wave rectifier is achieved by using bridge rectifier consisting of 4 diodes. So all of you know that the bridge rectifier is having 4 diodes. So when the positive half cycles and negative half cycles, the diodes will be connects, and according to that we will get the value output voltage, output from the bridge rectifier. So this output voltage is positive half cycles only we will get. So that voltage will be passes through this meter, and by that we will get the average value of the AC input. So this is the same representation how the AC voltmeter. So figure 4.16 shows so this is the figure 1.6. So it is a bridge rectifier. So gives an AC voltmeter circuit consisting of a multiplier, a bridge rectifier, and the PMMC meter. This is the PMMC meter. Okay. So by the application of AC input voltage to the bridge rectifier, it will produces the positive half cycles only. In the negative half cycle for the negative for the reverse for the negative half cycle of input AC input also will get the positive value. So with that we can get the average current and average RMS current. So from this we will be measure the average value. So the AC voltage first will be converted into DC, and that DC voltage will be measured by using the basic meter. The bridge rectifier provides a full wave pulsating DC. Due to the inertia of the movable coil, the meter indicates a steady deflection proportional to the average value of the. So here, so the bridge rectifier provides full wave pulsate in DC. So for we will get the pulsate in DC. Okay. So due to the inertia of the movable coil, the meter indicates a steady deflection proportional to the average value of the current. So average value of the current. So for that value, the meter will be deflects average value. The meter scale is usually calibrated to give the RMS value of an alternating sine wave input. Practical rectifiers are non-linear devices. Practically at low values of forward current. So initially, for the diode's characteristics, all of you know that when the diode is in forward bias, initially it is in non-linear region. So after that, for the higher value of voltages, it is produces the region linear region. Okay, so that's why for the hence the meter scale is non-linear and is generally crowded at the lower end of the low range voltmeters. In this part, the meter has low sensitivity because of the high forward resistance of the diode. Also, the diode resistance depends on the temperature. So for the uh, for, for the AC meters, we are because of using the diodes are dependent upon the temperature variations, and due to that, so it also depends on temperature. So the meter readings will be changes. So the sensitivity is also low. So in this part of the meter has low sensitivity because of high forward resistance of the diode at this region only. So here this is there are two regions of operation for the diode. For lower voltages, it possesses the non-linear operation. So at that moment, so there is a having a large uh, is having a higher value of forward resistance. So after that, the resistance will be decreases, and due to that, the current will be linearly increases. So and also the diodes are dependent upon the temperature, dependent upon the temperature. So uh, there is a chance for getting uh, some error values by using AC voltmeters depending upon the temperature variations. If the temperature is maintained constant, so we will get the correct values. So if the temperature is changing from time to time, then we will get the some errors. So that will be also considered as a systematic errors. Okay. Um, so this is AC voltmeters using rectifiers, full wave rectifier. So electronic multipliers, electronic multimeters. So for the measurement of DC as well as AC voltage and current, resistance, an electronic multimeter is commonly used. So electronic multimeter is used for measurement of voltage, current, and resistance. It is also known as voltage ohm meter, ohm or multimeter. The important salient features of voltage ohm meter is listed below. The basic circuit of includes balanced bridge DC amplifier. To limit the magnitude of the input signal, range switch is provided. By properly adjusting the input attenuator, input signal can be limited. So it also includes rectifier section, which converts AC input signal to the DC voltage. Okay, and fourth one is it facilitates resistance measurement with the help of internal battery and additional circuitry. So the meter multimeter. So multimeter is a combination. We can measure voltage, current, and resistance. So generally we call it as ohm, voltage ohm meter, and that ohm meter mainly consists the following features. So basic circuit includes the balanced bridge DC amplifier, okay, balanced bridge DC amplifier, and there is a switch, range switch is there. So by using that range switch, we can select the parameter. So suppose we have to measure the voltage, so we will select the, we will switch, we will change the switch to the particular voltage range. Similarly, to measure the current and resistance, so according to that we will change the switch. So rotatable switch will be there. Okay, and similarly it includes rectifier section and converts AC input signal to this voltage. Suppose we have to measure the AC voltage. So with this multimeter we can measure both AC and DC voltages. To measure the AC voltage, again we have to convert that into the DC voltage. It requires a rectifier circuit. So that will be also constituted in the DC, constituted in the multimeter. So it facilitates resistance measurement with the help of internal battery and additional circuitry. So, so to measure the resistance, we have to add add some battery. So that is internal battery will be provided, and additional circuitry will be also provided. Okay, the various parameters measurement is possible by selecting required function using function switch. The measurement of various parameters indicated with the help of the indicating meter. So this is a use of the multimeter for DC measurement. How can you use the uh, multimeter as a DC for DC measurement? For the measurement of DC as well as AC voltage and current resistance, the electronic multimeter, uh, an electronic multimeter is commonly used. It is also known as VOM. So here, same as we are used in DC voltmeter, DC voltmeter, multi-range, how we can connect it, like that only we will connect it in the inside of the multimeter. For getting different ranges of voltages, different series resistances are connected in series. Different series resistances are connected in series, which can be put in the circuit with the range selector. This is the range selector switch. Okay, we can get different ranges to measure the DC voltage by selecting the proper resistance in series with the basic meter. In series with the basic meter. So this is same as basic DC voltmeter connected in for multi-range purpose. So it's the same arrangement is present in multimeter also. So coming to use of multimeter as an ammeter. So generally for getting for getting ammeter, so basically we will use a shunt. So we can call it as a shunt. For the basic meter, we will connect a parallel resistance. So that parallel resistance will be called as shunt. So then that basic meter will be used as a ammeter. That basic meter will be used as an ammeter. See here. So this is a basic meter. So directional movement. So it is having internal resistance Rm and full deflection current of Im. So this is the shunt resistance. We can call it as a shunt resistance. So a resistor is connected in parallel with the meter. A resistance is connected in parallel with the meter. That particular arrangement will be used as a measurement of current. So that can be used as a measurement of current. So we can call it as a ammeter. You can call it as a ammeter. So it is used for measurement of current. Okay. So in this case also we have to calculate the value of the shunt resistance. So how much value should be connected in parallel with the meter without affecting on the deflection meter. Okay. So in this case RSH is the shunt resistance. Shunt resistance. RM is the internal resistance. Okay. And IM is the full scale deflection of the movement, and ISH is the shunt current. The current which is flowing through shunt resistance is known as the shunt current. And this current, what the current I is the full scale current of the ammeter plus shunt. So that is total current. So suppose we have to measure a current range. So suppose 0 to 10 amperes. So that 10 amperes will flow through this, and it will be flows through this one, and according to that this meter will be deflect and shows the value of the uh, value of the applied current. So this current I is equals to sum of the both ISH and IM. ISH and IM. Okay, and here we have um, VM. VM means the voltage drop across the shunt and the movement must be same. So because the voltage drop across this meter and shunt both are same, so VM and VSH. So VSH is V is nothing but V is equals to I into R. Here the voltage drop across the shunt is nothing but ISH into RSH, and that is equals to the voltage drop across the meter. So the meter voltage drop is represented as V is equals to I into R. I is the IM and resistance is the RM. So with this we will get the RSH. RSH is equals to IM into RM by ISH. Okay, but whereas ISH is equals to shunt current is equals to I minus IM, because the total current is combination of shunt resistance and meter resistance. Shunt current and meter current or full scale deflection current. So with this we will get the ISH is equals to total current minus meter current. That is uh, um, full scale deflection current, and that will be replaces with the ISH. So with that IM, RM and I minus IM. So with this we will get the RSH. So finally we have to find out the value of RSH, shunt resistance. Shunt resistance. So for what value of the RSH, the meter will be shows the maximum deflection value for a given input current. So that for that we have to find out the shunt resistance. So that's why, so we are here in this case, we know the meter resistance, we know the full scale deflection of the current, the full scale deflection of the IFSD, full scale deflection current, and I is the, suppose we want to know the, we want to apply or measure the current from 0 to 10 amperes. I is the maximum of the current range, and IM is the meter current. So with these all known parameters, we have to find the shunt resistance. For each required value of full scale meter current, we can determine the value of the shunt resistance. So a 1 milliamperes meter movement with an internal resistance of 100 ohms is to be converted into a 0 to 100 milliamperes. Calculate the value of the shunt resistance required. So here, so the 1 milliampere meter movement with an internal resistance 100 ohms. So IM is given 1 milliampere, and Rm is given 100 ohms, is to be converted into a 0 to 100 milliamperes. So here the input current range is 0 to 100 milliamperes. So the I value will become as 100 milliamperes. I value will become as 100 milliamperes. So in the with the previous equation we can solve this one. So this is Im Rm. Okay. So Rm is 100 ohms, Im is 1 milliamperes, and I is 100 milliamperes. 100 milliamperes. And with that you will get the 1.01 ohm shunt resistance. So that shunt resistance will be connected in parallel with the basic moment. So with that we can use it to measure the current range from 0 to 100 milliamperes. With that we can use it that ammeter to measure 0 to 100 milliamperes of current range we can measure safely without any effect on the high current effect on the meter. Okay. The shunt resistance used with a basic movement may consist of a length of constant temperature resistance wire within the case of the instrument. So the material which is using in the instrument, the main consideration is it should not vary with the temperature. So any material which is varying with the temperature, so it produces an error. So to make the changes with the temperatures are very less, so we have to choose a material which is changing its resistance with the temperature is very low. The material what we are going to construct an instrument, so those materials should affect less when the temperature changes. Okay, so like that we will be select a material for the instrument construction. Okay, here the shunt resistance usually the basic movement may consist of length of the constant temperature resistance. So here the resistance wire the shunt which is also used, so that is also having a low temperature effect, so that should be selected. So alternately there may be an external shunt having very low resistance, very low resistance. So basically for ammeter we will connect shunt. That shunt resistance generally having low value. Whereas see here, so this resistance value is should be low value. So with that low value, the most of the current will be passes through this one, and remaining amount of the current will be goes through the meter. So previously DC voltmeter we are using the multiplier. That multiplier is used as a current limiter. It will be used as a, if the high currents are coming to the circuit, that high current will be limited by the multiplier. Similarly, if the more currents are coming through the circuit, that current will be passes through the this low resistance value. This low resistance value. So that's why the shunt values are low resistance values. Multiplier resistances are having high resistance values. Shunt resistance are having low resistance values, and multiplier resistances are having high resistance values because that is connected in series with the basic meter in the DC voltmeters. So there is no other path. So if the high currents are came, that should be limited by the multiplier. So whereas in this case, if the high currents are came, so those high currents will be passes through this low resistance. So in such situation, the meter will be allows only the maximum deflection current. It allows only up to maximum deflection current. The remaining current will be moves through this shunt resistance. So in such situation, we can safely use the meter. Okay. So generally, an external shunt having very low resistance, manganese and constantan are used as an external shunt. So the general requirements of a shunt are as follows. The temperature coefficients of the shunt and the instrument should be low and nearly identical. The resistance of the shunt should not vary with time. The resistance of the shunt does not vary with time. It should carry the current without excessive temperature rise. So it should have a low thermal EMF. Magnet is usually used as a shunt for DC instruments since it gives a low value of thermal EMF with copper. Constant is useful material for AC circuits. For DC DC instruments, we will use a magnet as a shunt. For AC circuits, for AC current measurements, we will use a constant. Its comparatively high thermal EMF, being unidirectional, is ineffective on the circuits. Shunts for low currents are enclosed in the meter casing, while for currents have above 200 amperes, they are mounted separately. Generally, the shunt resistances are connected with the same meter casing. So in the meter case only we will connect the shunt. So for measurement of above 200 amperes, we will connect the shunt separately. So multi-range ammeters. So multi-range ammeters. So as in the previous DC voltmeters, we are using a multi-range voltmeters like that. In ammeter also we have uh, multi-range ammeters. So that is we can change the range of the current what we are going to measure. So by using a switch here. So all these resistors are parallel with the D-R-So movements. So these are called shunt resistances. The current range of the DC ammeter may be further extended by a number of shunts selected by a range switch. Selected by a range switch. Such a meter is called as multi-range ammeter. Okay, multi-range ammeter. So the circuit has four shunts R1, R2, R3, R4, which can be placed in parallel with the movement to give four different current ranges. So switch S is a multi-position switch having low contact resistance and high current carrying capacity. If we use an ordinary switch for range changing, the MET does not have any shunt in parallel. Well, the range is so this is universal shunt.